What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you all. Welcome to another episode of the Viall Files Ask Nick edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by my producer, Chrissy. Chrissy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a good thing it's Ask Nick and you're the host, Nick. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, just in case any of you are confused, I'm Nick. Nice to meet you all. Maybe I don't have to introduce myself anymore. That seems dumb. It's nice.
It's nice. You never know if you have a new listener. How are you doing? What's going on with all this Instagram stuff?
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, me being body shamed? You talking about?
Yeah, you're being like body shamed on the Instagram.
That was wild. So, they aired Caitlin's recap season last Monday night. So here I am. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna have some fun with, like a freaking thirst trap photo, and I'm getting dumped on national. I'm reliving my dumpage on national television, and so I'm like, hey, I'll post this. And look, I looked really lean. I've been running every day. I look particularly lean in this photo with just the way I was standing. And I'll tell you what, I got body shamed like crazy. And like, for those of you who know me, my dear listeners, I think you are aware that I am not lacking in the confidence department when I take my shirt off. And I only say that because like I hate to admit how much it bugged me. Like, it really bothered me. Like, people were just like telling me how I should eat, that I look sick, questioning my mental health. It was, it got to me. It bugged me. And
because you put so much effort into being healthy and doing what's good for your body. So for people to judge you on it.
It was just, it really made me think about my episode with Megan Tonjes about how we're so quick to like just point out appearances. And again, I posted obviously another, it was an excuse to post another shirtless photo, let's be honest. But it just like, listen, the point is, if it can get to me, it really, and I don't lack confidence. And again, I'm fine, but man, it definitely bugged me. It's like you read these comments and you want to like scream out loud, but I'm doing this, or it was just the photo. And it's just like, it affected my mental health. I am embarrassed to admit that. I do not like admitting that the internet gets to me, but I felt maybe it would be beneficial to acknowledge it. And again, just be mindful when you're out there, or even when you see a friend, and you want to first comment on their appearance, like, ooh, you're looking a little thin, or whatever you want to say, just know that like, you might fuck them up in their head a little bit. So just ask them how they're feeling.
You're a strong person, and there might be people doing that to people who don't have the mental capacity to be able to take it and kind of brush it off, and that's even more terrible.
Well, that's kind of why I put. I'm fine, people. I'm not looking for pity or sympathy, and I don't need you to DM me to tell me to compliment me if you're so inclined. I'm okay, but it really was something. So anyways, just a great opportunity just to remind people, hey, try not to like fuck up someone's day because you want to comment on their physical appearance. And it's really fascinating, this podcast, how educated I've become and more in tuned. And I don't want to seem like some like overly sensitive person, and I even get defensive saying that it bothered me, but yeah, it was crazy. But it's a nice segue into our episode today. My loving sister Maria is joining us. I know you all loved when she was on in the past, so we're bringing her back. She shares some great dietary tips about some. We have a way of cutting things out of our diet and doing some drastic changes, and she has some helpful tips about that before we get into some new calls. But I always enjoy Maria joining. I know you guys do as well, especially when she gives some of her holistic nutrition tidbits for free. And so, yeah. And again, Maria, I've said this before. Maria is someone I know, she got in this whole bit because she's a tall woman, and people would call her big. And that made her self-conscious about her weight. And It's really kind of fascinating and not a great way about how we can do things. So, I know people will be like, oh, you can't say anything without offending someone. Listen, I'm not offended. It's just be careful, because you can hurt people's feelings. And again, imagine doing all this work and working out or eating right, and then changing how you feel, because changing how you look based on, and you feel great about it and you're confident, or maybe you put on some weight, whatever it is, and then someone critiques it. That can really set you back in terms of feeling good about the progress you've made. Does that make sense? Am I just rambling, Chrissy? I don't know.
You make sense.
Anyways, as always, people, I love you. Thanks for listening. Let's get to Maria and some of our callers. Don't forget to send in your questions at asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K. Always looking for some fresh, juicy questions. And lastly, we sincerely appreciate you talking about our podcast, sharing it on your social. That helps immensely, and it means a lot to us. So thanks to those who have done it, and we will try to keep giving you guys shout outs when you do. If there's nothing else, Chrissy, let's just get to it.
Let's do it. Let's bring on Maria.
The world is changing, people. We're staying inside. We still need to work. We still need to run our businesses. And as you guys know, ShipStation is near and dear to my heart because of how we get things done with Natural Habits. Listen, shipping is a huge part of every business. Doesn't matter how big or how small. Now more than ever, in terms of getting products out to your customers in an efficient way, affordable way. Customer service, always very important. And again, ShipStation helps you do that with a lot of ease. So whether you're shipping USPS, FedEx, UPS, even Amazon fulfillment, ShipStation has you covered. It's the number one choice for online sellers. Again, for me, I use it every day. Every order that goes out is through ShipStation. I get analytics, I get reports. It helps me control my shipping costs. It's fantastic. And right now, Viall listeners can try ShipStation for free for 60 days when you use offer code VIALL. Make sure your business is ready to meet the demands of delivery culture. Get started at ShipStation.com today. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in VIALL. That's ShipStation.com. Then enter code VIALL. ShipStation.com. Make ship happen. Warby Parker. Listen, Warby Parker. I'm wearing Warby Parkers right now. I use them for blue light. I'm on my phone all the time, on my computer. Thank God I have great eyes and perfect vision, but I also look sexy with Warby Parker glasses.
You're not wrong.
They have a cool store in Venice. I've popped in. I got my first pair of Warby Parkers in. If you're looking for amazing frames that look stylish, make you look kind of like, sexy, sophisticated, hot, Warby Parker has you covered. I get a ton of compliments when I wear them. And if you need help choosing frames, take a quiz, answer a few quick questions, and they'll suggest some great looking glasses that are totally personalized to fit your face and style. They're amazing quality. I mean, I know frames can get super expensive, and Warby Parkers are totally appropriately priced for how high quality they are. Check them out if you're looking for amazing frames. Try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. Order 5 pairs of glasses to try at home for free for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. Ships free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/VIALL. We have my sister Maria on. Maria, how you doing?
I'm good.
We thought we would make Maria come back. We've had her on a few times before and talk about health and wellness, as she is a holistic nutritionist. And I know a lot of you enjoyed having her on, so we wanted to bring her back, as well as help us answer some fan questions. Well, before we get into our callers, I know the listeners always enjoy some quick tips when it comes to some of our diets that we're doing. And I know you've recently been talking a little bit about a particular topic and thought maybe you could share some insight with our audience.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I've noticed has been coming up quite a bit in, clients I see and just questions I'll get from people is, like kind of eliminating things from your diet. And this is really popular, I think, as well, in just holistic health or nutrition circles is like, oh, you don't digest gluten, get rid of it. You don't digest dairy, get rid of it. You have trouble, with grains, get rid of them. And so a lot of people will come to me being like, well, I've got this list of like 6 things I eat, right? I eat like salmon, broccoli, berries, whatever it is. And so they kind of feel, 1, limited on what they can eat. And then 2, kind of questioning, like, I am confused on how to continue this because it doesn't really seem to be sustainable. And I think the bigger question in those situations is, why can't you digest those things? Now, granted, there are some things that are legitimate food allergies, people who are celiac or like have an anaphylactic reaction to like peanuts, right? You can't eat them. But for the most part, you should be, if throughout most of your life you ate these foods fairly problem-free, you should still be able to eat those foods without having massive belly bloat or having breakouts or digestive issues, weight gain, all of those things. So the bigger question really is like, how is your digestive health? Like taking a really good look at how your body actually like breaks down food and uses it, because you can continue to cut foods out. But it's not going to solve the problem. You're just going to have a new food that you then have trouble with. And so, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today was just like little things you can actually do to improve your digestion. Now, I'm not saying you do this once or twice and all of a sudden you can eat a loaf of bread, no problem. But these are things that I would suggest people to try doing every day for a while to see if they notice an improvement in digestion or a decrease in symptoms of indigestion or, uncomfortable bathroom situations. So, something as simple as, and a lot of people might do this, wake up, have hot water with lemon in the morning. That really can help kind of get your digestion going right away in the morning. The other thing would be is to try to wake up at the same time every morning. So waking up at the same time. And I know this is hard with like,
why is that beneficial?
Because your body has like certain rhythms. Your body does better if it is in some sort of routine. And so if you wake up 6 o'clock one morning and you wake up 8 or 9 the next morning, you should be having your elimination time for the most part should be shortly after you wake up. You wake up, you go to the bathroom. Hopefully we're getting rid of a lot of stuff in that bathroom break. But if you change your sleep time, you're not only kind of messing up your cortisol, which is your wake up hormone and your stress hormone, but you're also messing up your digestive rhythm and routine. So waking up at the same time every morning, starting with, either warm water with lemon, that can be really helpful. One thing, and this is something I'm really bad at, I know Nick's really bad at, our whole family is really bad at, is slowing down when you eat and like chewing your food. Because like when you chew your food, you have to think about it. Like your mouth is like the first thing that breaks down those nutrients. Like your stomach doesn't have teeth, right? So you really want to break down the food you're eating so that when it gets to your stomach, it's not having to do as much work to get to the nutrients that you're eating. So taking time to sit down and be relaxed and chewing as much as possible can really help decrease things like bloating. It also can help decrease things like, gas or discomfort later in the day. So that would be another tip. Super simple. You don't need to have anything at home for any of these tips. They're just things that the more you do, the more benefit you notice. The second thing I would say is try as much as possible to combine your food a little bit so that you're not eating these big, huge, complex meals. Most people they find to digest fruit better if it's eaten by itself. So maybe like a smoothie in the morning, but not something that you would eat at the end of a meal. Because fruit digests really fast. So being smart with when we eat our fruit. And then the last thing I would say in regards to all of it is really try to eat meals. And I know I've said this before, try to eat meals, not snacking or grazing. So eat your meal, stop, go do life. Eat your meal, stop, go do life. Not like eat your meal. Okay. An hour goes by. Okay. Now I'm going to have a handful of nuts, or I'm going to have an apple, or I'm going to, dig into some chips or something. You're better off eating those foods at a meal and then stopping eating, and then giving yourself at least 4 hours in between meals to give digestion a break. Otherwise, you're just kind of piling food on top of it, and it's never actually able to kind of get through the whole mess of broken down food that you piled in your stomach. So doing little tips like that, I notice people improving digestion in general. Granted, if there are some pretty significant indigestion things going on, there are some things you can look at and figure out if you have some indigestion things aside from gas. Like if you aren't, I'm just going to say it, if you're not pooping every day, that is some sluggish digestion. We need to get that figured out. If you're pooping more than 3 times a day, also not great. We got to figure that out. If you eat and an hour or 2 later, you get super bloated and uncomfortable, where like your pants kind of need to be loosened, you got some digestion issues. If you burp a lot, those are digestive issues. And then if you notice when you eat certain foods, you just have a really dramatic drop in energy. Like you almost feel like you could fall asleep after eating certain foods. Again, that's just kind of weak digestive strength. So those are all kind of indicators. And again, they can be indicators of something small that, if unaddressed over a length of time, can sometimes become something more chronic, like heartburn or acid reflux. And so we really want to look at the whole picture and really try to address the key problem versus just removing foods constantly out of your diet, because you're going to wind up with spinach, and then you'll find a reason why spinach isn't digesting. So that's my tip.
Well, that's very helpful. I hope those listening find that beneficial. I know a lot of our listeners have found this really informative, and it's amazing how much we can do to help our bodies by just kind of having healthy habits and changing some small things. If people wanted to learn more, Maria, and work with you directly, where can they find you?
My website's mariaviall.com. You can shoot me an email or send a contacting there. And on Instagram, it's Maria Viall Health. You can shoot me a DM on there. If there's a question that like warrants a bit more than just a simple thing, I'd say shoot me an email through my website so we can kind of take a look. What
awesome.
might help.
Well, thanks for dropping some knowledge for free to our listeners. And yeah, it's a fascinating, that digestion is it's also like kale. No one really gave a shit about it 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was thinking about like grandma. Like our grandma was like Miss Health. Like she'd put chicken livers in soup. Barley green, right? I'm thinking grandma never had kale. Shit, I don't even think grandma ever had like there's certain things now have become so trendy. It's like, where was kale? Like
no one,
30 years ago.
No one talked about your digestion.
No, and I think a lot of times there was just some innate habits that sure. We as with society have gotten worse. We're late night eaters. There's more fast food. There's more crap in our food, right? Like back then, organic was food, right? They weren't like, well, where's the organic section? All of their food was, right? So times change, food industry changes, our habits change, but yeah, it's simple stuff, right? It's not taking super expensive supplements. It's not, doing these really drastic detoxes. I mean, sometimes certain cleanses can definitely help, but it's really just like these really small things that if you just start with that, you'll probably notice some benefits. And then if there's, bigger rocks in the water, we can work on getting those out.
For sure. Well, thanks for sharing. Let's say we get to these questions, shall we?
Sounds good.
Always appreciate you guys listening, and we certainly always need your questions. So don't forget to email us at asknick@castme.com, cast with a K, and we'd love to have you on the show. And if there's nothing else, let's get to it.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How can we help?
I'm Catherine. I am 24.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi,
I'm in kind of a
Catherine.
weird relationship. So my boyfriend is 10 years older than me. We've been dating for about 3 years. And pretty recently, we talked about like how we're not the most happy in our relationship, and we've been watching these people on YouTube that are like in a relationship with like 3 people, and we were like, hey, what if we try that? Like, we've been together for so long, and like we've made it work.
What's
so we
so long?
started trying that. I mean, we've been together for 3 years, but we've been friends for most of my life.
Okay.
And so we like tried this out, and I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with it, and I've tried to voice that, and he hasn't really seemed to be the biggest fan of me voicing that.
That's a
So I'm
concern.
kind of to the point of, do I just walk away? Do I continue to try to voice my opinion on this, or where do I go from here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, why do you, other than you've been with him forever and you're very comfortable with him in your life, and in a lot of respects, it's all you know, what are some reasons you would want to stay in the relationship?
I feel like comfortability is a huge part of it.
Sure. But that would go back to, again, the time. But so other than you're very comfortable with this situation, and well, not this situation, but just him being in your life.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
I mean, not being able to like find the one, like the person that I will settle down with eventually and have kids, because it's conversations that we've already had together. So I think that's a big thing, is like a goal in my life is to be able to have children. So not finding that person essentially would be a fear.
Okay. Well, that's a fear everyone has, and that is normal. But it sounds like this relationship is going down a path that's not going to lead to that anyways. I mean, I'm not saying if you're in a throuple you can't have kids, but I mean, listen, I don't know a lot about that world. And we talk a lot about non-traditional relationships on this podcast, of which, I think it's fun to explore, and it's such an interesting concept. But as I mentioned in other episodes, whether it's threesomes or throuples or whatever, this really truly has to be a mutual decision. If it is meant to be a healthy thing for 2 people, and I don't know the dynamics of a throuple, but again, like every relationship is different, but it has to be mutual. And a lot of times these attempts at making these relationships non-traditional are often instigated by one person more than the other. And then you often have the other person reluctantly going along with it, trying to appease their partner out of fear of losing them and losing the relationship. So that's what it seems to mean. The fact, the biggest concern is you expressed this and then he ignored you, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you agreed to it at one point. Consent about anything in a relationship can always be changed. You have the right to change your mind, even if it's trivial things. Not everything you agreed to is written in stone. Even it's as simple as like deciding you don't want to watch a movie you agreed to watch in the morning, and you're like, I'm not in the mood for that anymore. And certainly you have the right to say, I don't want to bring in another person into this relationship. I tried to consider it. It makes me awkward. But this person doesn't seem all that interested in what you want.
Yeah. So can I ask a little bit deeper question? Why are you unhappy? Why is the relationship unhappy? Like, what about it?
So I don't know. I just feel like it's made me feel more insecure.
Okay.
And that, like, I don't want to say we're long distance, but like we're longer than most people. Like it's an hour drive between our homes. And I feel like now that we've added this person, it's just become more attention goes to this other person.
So this is not like a topic you guys discuss. It's happening.
Yeah, I was going to say, so this person's already in the relationship.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Been about a month.
And so you initiated the idea of it. He wasn't great with it. This person's in it. Can I ask the gender?
He initiated it.
He initiated it, and you're not thrilled with it.
I mean, I went along with it because I was like, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. So he brought it up. You were like, I guess, and he did it, and you were like, no, actually, this sucks.
Yeah. Essentially.
And so, is there just like is there fear? Okay, let's say this third person leaves. Let's say you guys agree this isn't great. They leave. Are you still happy in the relationship?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just because I feel like it's created those like insecurities and those doubts already.
Yeah. I mean, this is people all the time attempt to put band-aids on problems in relationships to mend them, and this sounds like an all-time. And it's just like putting an infected Band-Aid that like is full of bacteria and diseases on a wound that's only going to make it worse.
I actually think it's not even, I think, trying to fix it. It's almost like
it's an excuse. No, I mean, I think he just wants to sleep with other people.
Like, well, that's what I mean. So it's more so maybe if you guys are both unhappy, and you guys have known each other for so long, there's maybe a deeper emotional connection of walking away. And so it's kind of like when you're at a job and they want to get rid of you, and instead of firing you because they don't want to have to deal with all the crap that goes with it, they kind of just make life really crappy. So you quit on your own.
Yeah.
And, I don't think it's fair for you to kind of stay in a situation you're not comfortable in the first place. And understanding that fear of like, well, who else will I meet? I'm going to pose the other thing. Let's say you stay with this person and you've been together for 3 years. Granted, you've known each other for a long time. That's such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I know it feels really long. It's so short. Now imagine you're with this person you have kids and you're together now for 20 years. That's a very long time to be unhappy with another human that you're both mutually taking care of.
It's not as long as it feels, and more specifically, it doesn't really even matter.
Right.
Comfort is definitely a really, if comfort isn't your like top 3 reasons why you're in a relationship, you're probably in the wrong relationship. Comfort's nice, but like, that's just like a cherry on top thing. It shouldn't be a driving force of why you're in a relationship. And listen, that first love, that person in your life, it's the hardest to get over. There's because of the comfort, because it's the unknown is that much more scary. For someone like myself, who's had a handful of relationships not work out, for whatever reason, I have this kind of ability to be like, well, I'll find another. I've got over this, I'll get over that. I didn't always feel that way. I am a creature of habit. You guys know this. I think you know this about me. Obviously, staying active, staying in shape is important to me. And even in working out, you need one of the most important things to get progress is to change up what you're doing. I just found this new great workout, Crossrope. It's jumping rope. They have they have different styles of jump ropes. This is a big, thick, heavy one. So you actually can get some really nice muscle density with it. And it's just a way to change it up. Jumping rope is an excellent workout. So they have these different ropes. There's an amazing app you can use. Track your progress. Set different goals, whether you want to get strong or get lean. I like it. I've been doing it at least 3 days a week. And so I've incorporated jumping rope into my normal working out and working out from home. Running, I do some boxing, and now I'm incorporating jump rope. It's amazing. And again, I love working outside of my home. I'm saving a lot of money not going to a gym. I love it. I'm surprised how much I benefited from jumping rope. And I'm, again, working out different types of muscles, and I couldn't recommend it more to you. You will not regret it. It's a ton of fun. Everyone's familiar with regular jump ropes, but they also have weighted ropes, which combine high-intensity cardio, full body strength training. It's amazing what you can do when you mix up your routine. The plyometrics of it all is a fantastic workout, and I highly recommend it. So if you're ready for new cardio in a full body home workout, visit crossrope.com/VIALL. Get up to $40 off your Crossrope set plus free shipping when you check out today at crossrope.com/VIALL. That is CROSSROPE.com/VIALL. crossrope.com/VIALL. You've heard me say it before, people, but your skin on your body is your largest organ that you have, and everything you put on it is going into your bloodstream. So if you're going to do that, make sure you're using the highest quality products possible. Isn't that right, Chrissy?
That's right. The big thing about True Botanicals is that it truly nourishes your skin. And when used together with the repair serum, it increases skin hydration, which is something I can feel already just using it for a few weeks. It's really easy. The Radiance oil comes with the dropper. You take a couple of drops and you put it in your hand right before you go to bed at night. And then you rub it into your face and your skin. And then you take 2 pumps of the serum and then you put that on top of it. And then you wake up in the morning, your skin is bright. All these products are lightweight and very absorbent.
It's made without 5,000 known toxic ingredients. So whether you're looking for an effective anti-aging regimen, seeking a sensitive skin-safe solution, battling pregnancy hormones, or struggling with acne-prone skin, True Botanicals has a natural formulation that will protect and nourish your skin. Get 15% off your first purchase at truebotanicals.com/VIALL. That's 15% off your first purchase at truebotanicals.com/VIALL. That's truebotanicals.com/VIALL. When I was 24, I definitely had a lot of fear about finding someone else and my ability to move on. And I doubted it at every turn. And I stuck in toxic and broken relationships based on that fear. So you're just going to have to get over it. But the good news is you have a lot of reasons to justify your decision because, this kind of sounds a bit fucked up and selfish of him. And he's huge red flags going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is, he doesn't seem interested in a throuple. He seems interested in having sex with someone else while you wait on the sideline for whenever he wants to.
Away.
Yeah. That's, he's really manipulated this situation to his benefit. My guess is you're wasting so much energy on this guy in this relationship, and it's taking all of your emotional and mental capacity to do so, and it's doing nothing to benefit you. Mm-hmm. And imagine what you can do for yourself if that energy was allocated to something more productive.
And you should actually maybe thank him for doing this throuple thing because, man, what a great reason to just be like, you know what? I'm out. If there's any resistance that you are worried about, like if there would be any pushback, if you were like, hey, I'm done. Like, this is kind of like Nick said, a really good, like, not just a red flag. I almost feel like it's like a nail in the coffin. Like, it's like, you didn't want to do this. Oh, well, I don't care. I'm doing it. I mean, that's kind of a pretty bold move of just inviting another person into your relationship. So I think you have almost be grateful that he did it so that you could see it now versus like holding on for another 5-10 years and waiting for kind of more subtle signs.
Yeah. All right. Well, best of luck. Hopefully this was helpful. But you're gonna be fine. it's one of those things you have to give yourself some tough love. And I know it's scary, but doing this thing you're doing right now is going to go nowhere fast, and it's going to just keep making you feel worse, and it's going to add to your insecurities. So it's on you now. Stop waiting for him to make the situation better. Like it's now your responsibility to make your situation better. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
You'll be
all
great.
right. You'll be great. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
I'm Mackenzie, and I'm 19.
What's up, Mackenzie? How you doing?
Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi. I I'm doing good. So I have kind of a longer story / question. So I'm just going to go right into it. So a few weeks ago, I met a boy on Tinder. He messaged me and we started talking. We go to the same university and everything. With quarantine times, obviously, we couldn't meet up right away. So we were just talking on Snapchat and like texting and everything. And then we had a few FaceTime dates that lasted all like anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours each of them. So obviously really good conversation. Throughout these like FaceTime dates, he was very reassuring and how much he enjoyed talking to me. He would say things like talking to me for like 3 hours felt like 5 minutes, that he felt like he knew me for a long time. So a lot of like reassuring things. He spoke about things that he wanted to do with me over the summer and then like in the fall when we go back to university. So all very promising. So then I ended up going on an actual date. The date went really well. And like we kissed and everything, which is not social distancing. So I apologize, but, you know,
Fine.
You're okay.
I'm okay.
I've cheated in that regard a couple times as well.
So it's okay. And we all have survived. So anyway, so we end the date. We had plans for like 2 days after this one date. We end it on a really good note. He even says to me to like text him when I get home so he knows I made it home safe. So just things like, oh, okay, this person is really into me. So then the following day, it was kind of crickets. I didn't really hear much at all from him. And I was like, oh no, what has happened? So I reached out to him, but not about like me feeling that he was being distant. I just reached out to him like normal. We didn't really exchange that many messages. The next day was when our date was supposed to be. And I was going to wait for him to ask me about it, not me bring it up. He ended up saying that a last minute family thing came up that he couldn't go. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And he didn't give me an alternate date to reschedule. The next day is when I guess the official ghosting like was official. I was like in a last ditch effort to see what was happening. I was like, hey, instead of going somewhere, I know it's like hard with like our work schedules. Do you want to just have like a FaceTime date after work? And he said, yes, I'd be down. I'll let you know how my day shakes out after work. And I knew that was like code for bye. I'm not going to text you. So he didn't. We never had that FaceTime date. That is the last message he sent me. My Snapchat that I used to reply to one of them that he sent me the night before is undelivered still. And then this is where the story takes a turn. So I just forgot about it. It's no big deal. Things like that happen all the time. But then a few days later, he posts on his Snapchat story a video of him and a girl. They're on a date. And so then I was like, okay, well, that explains that. However, the plot thickens when a few days later after that, he posts about the same girl on Instagram with a photo of his dad. I go on the girl's Instagram and see that she has also posted photos with him. And he has been interacting and liking her photos since before we even started talking. And it actually looked like, based on the timestamps, that she was out of town the entire duration of us talking. And so I guess my question to you is like, am I crazy for thinking that he kind of used me as like the other woman, or kind of used me to almost cheat on his girlfriend? Or was it a case of he just decided he didn't like me within a few days and went to somebody else? So,
I mean,
I don't think you're crazy.
Is it, are you crazy? Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
You know, how old is he?
He is a few years older than me in school. So I'm a sophomore and he is going into his senior year.
Okay. So you're relatively the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a very immature, shitty thing to do. And I'm sure you don't feel good about it and you feel manipulated and lied to and all these things. The good news is that you weren't all that invested. I mean, I know you had the quarantine dates and the conversations and you went on one date, but it's not like you started dating this guy and you weren't intimate with him. And, you know, in these situations, I always try to suggest, like, what can you learn from it? You know, what, looking back, I know you say how like all these conversations were great and he seemed nice and he was reassuring. But looking back, were there kind of inconsistencies that he had or things that you can kind of take from in terms of the next time a guy seems like he's doing this, you're just like, this seems like a little bit of a red flag?
There was a point in us talking that there was a day that he left our conversation undelivered for 24 hours. And then when he finally, and I thought I was like, it was over at that point. That was like a first week of talking. I FaceTime one of my friends and I was like, yeah, that's done. But he said that he was just like out with his friends. And I kind of didn't believe that, but I just decided to, I guess, ignore the red flag because I've never really dated anybody before. So I didn't want to like jump the gun and be like, oh, he's not into me if he just doesn't.
I mean, the reality is in these situations, there's probably a bunch of information about this other girl and this other relationship you don't know, right?
Right.
Could be he's just a scumbag who has no problem lying to you and to her. It could be maybe they're on a break. She broke up with him. She told him, I need a break. And he was like, I need to start getting back out there. And he made a sincere attempt in getting to know you. Didn't feel the need to tell you that he's probably heartbroken about some other girl who left him. He just wanted to focus on you. And then she popped back in because she was bored. And he's just like, oh my God, I love you. Take me back. And just kind of conveniently figured you'd go away. Sure. I'm not saying that's okay. And I'm not saying he like deserves a medal for it, but you know, it might help explain a little bit less. I mean, so I only said it because trying not to waste a lot of energy trying to figure it out and obsess over it, you know, you can, a lot of people can do that. Like, what does it mean? I need to know, I need to stalk her and stalk him and find out I feel used and I want to get to the bottom of this. Like, it's just a guy you went on a few dates with, you know, and it ended up not working out, and your ego's a little bruised, and it's a little hurtful. Especially with Instagram and seeing it, you see it, it feels like a slap in the face. But it's just another example of dating being a little challenging and hard, and putting yourself out there as a risk. But no harm, no foul. You're okay, right? Like you seem fine. You know, just your ego's a little bruised, and you felt like you were starting to trust someone who ended up being a little deceitful to you.
Right. And I'd also say, you know, almost in a way, like you said, you didn't date before. So I think it can maybe even hit like maybe a little bit harder. You're like, oh, come on. Like I thought this was something. Right. And so then you kind of get like, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Like, I'm not good at this. I know that I was like a very late dater. Terrible. Like, but the good news is let's just say there's this other girl the whole time. It probably has less to do about you. I mean, it truly probably has less to do about like you not being, I mean, you know what I mean? All the stories we tell ourselves.
I think it's a safe bet.
It's like a back, you know, like
even if he was like flat out cheating on you, like it was never
less to do about you.
It had nothing to do with you. I mean, the only thing that you were is like someone else.
And if anything, like you know, even if I actually think this is a great first experience of dating, like you carried on long conversations, you shared things. It wasn't like it was like two or three short conversations. You met, you like got physical, and then he ghosted you. It's like you went through the process of getting to know someone. I mean, as much as he maybe is honest, but you had these like long conversations, and you were able to kind of like have that back and forth. So I think like it's actually a great first dating experience.
Yeah, there's a lot to be learned from it. I would agree with Maria. And the good news is you caught this, so you don't have to obsess and get insecure about did you say something wrong or do something wrong?
Yeah.
He was most likely likely never available for you to date.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Chalk him up to good practice. It's great practice.
You were like house hunting for a house or apartment shopping and like checking it out, and you fell in love with it, and then at the end of the day, the real estate was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, like this isn't available on sale, like.
And then you found out it had terrible foundations, so it ended up working out perfectly.
That's a great analogy. I like that.
We're good at analogies.
So that's what happened. Keep dating, putting yourself out there. You are very young. You shouldn't be settling down anytime soon. This is a time in your life to truly just get experience and get to know yourself. It's really about you. and how you date and what you're attracted to and learning about red flags and all those things. And it's a fun time in life. And so take advantage of that. Too many people feel this pressure of settling down and they don't learn as much, at least not enough early on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, this was really helpful. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Take care.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mackenzie.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.
How's it going?
Going well. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
Amy, 33
Hey.
years old.
Hi, Amy, 33. How can
Hi,
I help?
Amy.
So yeah, I've actually been, I think I've emailed before trying to get in contact about this individual that I've been dating for about 3.5 years. We recently broke up and just a lot of things came to light. So kind of want to get some guidance on it. Kind of in a tough situation right now. I think he's a narcissist from what all my friends have been saying. Not exactly sure. It is something that's come new to me, even understanding what a narcissist is. So after I emailed you, I thought about it quite a bit. I'm like, wait, is he not? Or is this just like mind games that are going on with myself? So yeah, that's why I'm kind of here.
So just to be clear, you're no longer in a relationship with this person.
No.
So what's your big question? I guess what's your conundrum that you're in? Because while I'm sure ending a relationship sucks and there's a lot of processing you're doing, the important part is you're no longer dating this person. So I guess what's your actual problem?
Yeah, so we've been dating for 3.5 years. We worked together, and recently I had been going through a lot of stuff where I found out about my mom having stage 4 cancer, and he had been some supportive, but not as supportive as I thought he should. But I feel like that's me making excuses, thinking, oh, he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know how. He's never been in a situation like this. I was under a lot of stress, and about 3 weeks ago, I just kind of had this meltdown where I was not getting enough rest, not enough sleep, not taking care of myself. And he didn't really know how to handle that. And so we thought, okay, let's just take a break. I need to just take care of myself as well. And during that break, like he was still texting and saying, oh, hey, how's therapy going? I know you've had a lot on your plate. And here I am thinking, oh my God, he really cares. He's really trying. But during that time, he had texted one of my friends saying, is there any potential for us to be more than friends? Is there a potential for us to hang out more than friends? And this is my best friend. This isn't just anybody.
Sure.
And I feel like this is why I think he's a narcissist, because he was really schemy about it. He sent it on Snapchat, where, messages do get deleted. And my friend is very smart. She has a second phone where she took a picture of it instead of taking a screenshot, because that way he would have known. And then a couple of days later, he reached out to her on Instagram to apologize. He was like, I'm sorry that, I really value our friendship. I shouldn't have said any of those things. But it almost seemed like while he was doing that, he was also reaching out to me, because I feel like if I would have texted in a nice way, that means he knows that I don't know what's going on with the friend. She had already obviously told me a week later, because she was so pissed off about it. She didn't know how to really tell me. And when I finally did find out and I confronted him about it, and by the way, he's 41, which, the age kind of shocks me, because I'm thinking all your friends are married. What are you doing? And we work together. We have a lot of great mutual friends. We have just a great life together. Our job is amazing. And I was just thinking to myself, what was the end game? What were you going to do? Start dating my best friend now and then tell people, like, say if she did go along with it, what were you going to tell everybody? Like, yeah, I'm dating, her best friend now. He hasn't apologized since then. I don't know if he feels stupid. I don't know if he feels remorse. We've had to obviously have interaction because of work. Even when I did see him face to face about a couple of days after it had happened, because we have to go into the office, he tried to have small talk. He was kind of tiptoeing around me, but there was no, hey, can we talk? I'm sorry. So I guess that's where I feel like he's such a narcissist, because I don't feel like narcissists think that they did anything wrong.
So all right, I'm gonna interrupt for a second. Why does it matter if he's a narcissist? I mean,
That
my
was
question
my
is,
exact question.
what would it feel to you whether he is or isn't? Well, because here's what you're doing. You're looking for some sort of justification right now, and which is normal in breakups. You're trying to process it. You're trying to figure out how you feel about it. Your feelings are hurt. He went behind your back. The whole friend thing sucks. It feels shitty. It makes you feel, who knows what it makes you feel? Probably not good. And now you're doing all these things to, understand the breakup, which I get is normal, but once again, it's over. So why are you spending a lot of energy trying to diagnose him when you or your doctors are not, you or your friends are not doctors, So what good can come from this?
I guess looking for some sort of closure because I still have to interact with this person through work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the closure is accepting that. I mean, regardless if he's a narcissist or not, he sounds like a dick. So you don't have to be a narcissist to be a dick.
Right.
We all love to, go on and Google, what does it mean to be a narcissist or a sociopath, especially if our friends are dating someone we don't like, and to go, see, look, you're dating a narcissist. I don't know. He could just be an asshole. He could just be selfish. He could just be immature,
Amy, are you?
It sounds like he's all of the above.
Is part of it like, let's just say you came on air and Nick was like, or we were like, yeah, he sounds like a narcissist. Like, does that make you feel better about everything that happened? I mean, even if you knew he was a narcissist, that's not going to necessarily help you regulate like interactions at work or all of that stuff. So is it more so?
My guess is, and tell me if I'm wrong, I think we do these things, right? So if he's a narcissist, then you get to tell yourself, well,
he was a narcissist.
He was a narcissist. Yeah. How would I have known? I'm not stupid. He duped me.
Nothing I did.
He's a professional narcissist. And how could and we do that, right? You just to hear you talk, you're clearly just ruminating and rambling. And you're you just need to accept that it's over and deal with it. Dick. And the fact that you work with him sucks. It's inconvenient, but instead of using the fact that you work with him as a way to still have him in your life so that you still can try to get answers you don't feel you've gotten yet. And that's the thing. You need to get over this. You need to accept that it's over. And the only closure you need is, I was dating a dick and I don't want to date a dick anymore. I don't want to date someone who would go behind my back and try to hook up with my friend. I deserve better than that. And that's simple, he fooled me. Like, anyone can lie. He went behind your back. He got caught. Like, listen, we end up dating shitty people all the time, but sometimes when we find out we dated a narcissist, makes us feel a little bit better. Well, because narcissists must be good liars. They must be good at manipulating people. So then I don't have to worry about having my guard up in my next relationship. I just have to not date a narcissist. I mean, listen, people lie. And that sucks. And there's no guarantee that you're not going to be hurt in the future, but you are spending just a way too much energy on this relationship that's over. And I've been there. I've spent months ruminating about relationships that were over.
Yes, he has.
So you need to say, I was dating a dick, and that I'm 100% certain of, and everything else doesn't really matter. And then move on.
Yeah, and if anything, maybe not even change your focus of attention on him, but you're going to interact with him at work. It's probably going to be tough, but my guess is the more you kind of allow yourself to just kind of take a cold shower and get over it, the easier you're going to be able to just see kind of the bullshit he probably pulls at work or communications, and just not let it affect you. That's his stuff.
Yeah.
It's not yours. You're not responsible for making sure he's treating you or anyone else fairly. It's really your responsibility to just mind your own side of the street and let him continue to be a dick. And it's not for you to worry about.
You need to constantly tell yourself that you do not need him to explain to you why he chose to disrespect you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not going to change anything. You just need to constantly tell yourself, I know I was disrespected. I deserve better. It's that simple. You don't need to explain to him. Nothing he says is going to make you feel better. You just have to empower yourself to know that you deserve better, and the conversation ends there. Because nothing he's going to say is going to make you feel better. And for some reason, we do that. We give these people all this power and think, well, if he just says this, I can move on. You're just you're continuing to give him way too much power, and you need to take again. We've said this. You need to take your power back and just say, I deserve to be treated differently. I want that, and I've wasted way too much time with this person already, and I refuse to waste any more energy on him going forward.
And then the next person you meet, maybe, you know, again, I'm a big fan of, it's not always easy, but like, you don't have to verbally say it to them, but like thanking the relationship for what it taught you. So now, you know, if you're dating someone and red flags show up about them not having empathy or compassion when you're going through something like, you know, your mother being sick, like that's a red flag of like, okay, I've been down this road before. I'm going to, you know, call it out before it gets any worse. So, right. You can learn from his narcissism or dickishness or whatever you want to call it.
And the last thing I would say, when you interact with him at work, treat him like a stranger in a sense.
Totally.
Be really polite, be really nice, but be generally indifferent. And if he says things to you, like, why are you being this way? Just act totally confused. Like this, like any other coworker, he's just a guy you work with. And so what do you do with people you work with? You're polite, you're professional. And that's the end. And you never indulge anything he says. And just know that every word that comes out of his mouth will be an attempt to get under your skin and to elicit an emotional reaction from you.
Absolutely.
So just know that that's what he's going to try to do and get ahead of it. So you just have to just keep saying, I know that he's doing this. He's just a stranger. Yeah.
Positive or negative, right? Like he could still elicit to be matter. Like, yeah.
It'll probably be a combination of both.
Yeah.
We had interaction at work, and, you know, I've been very calm, collective, polite, respectful, just doing my part, because I feel like that's all I have in control. But, you know, it's only been a week since it's happened. Today I feel a million times better. That last week felt like a month, I guess. You know, being with somebody for that long and you've had shared so much, you just think do you even feel bad? Do you even feel bad? Do you even want to say sorry? Why haven't you said sorry yet?
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you're gonna
I get that feeling, but you have to really, you know, listen, does it matter if he was sorry? He called up your friend or snapped your friend and tried to have sex. What was sorry going to do?
Yeah.
You know, what is an apology? Does someone really need to apologize for that? I mean, it's just, I'm not interested in someone apologizing for that. I'm interested in you having the mental capacity as an adult to not ever do that.
Yeah.
And you were hurt, and it's really early.
I was gonna say, I know him saying sorry kind of feels like it will make it easier because it makes it sound like he cares. But like at the end of the day, you waiting for that, and then even if he said sorry, then that emotionally gives you some sort of like, well, maybe he's not that much of a dick, but he is. So like, you waiting for his emotional like recap of what you two experienced is, you, like Nick said, just like you're giving your power for him to like put a stamp of approval on your experience.
Listen, apologies in general and in life are more or less, especially when they're verbal, just formalities. And you never really know if someone's truly sorry unless they're able to prove it with their actions, and you're not interested, or you shouldn't be, giving this guy an opportunity to show that he's sorry. So like, who gives a shit if he says he's sorry? It's a formality. It's something people say because they think they're supposed to say it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's just what I've been struggling with, because, you know, I am the type of person, I'm the first to apologize when I know somebody is hurting, and, you know, I guess he's definitely not the type, and this is just one of those things I feel like that really broke the camel's back. There's just I don't see it.
Totally. But that's something you deal with when you're in a relationship. Well, okay, I'm always feel like I'm apologizing. This is how we communicate. You have to understand that I'm not him, he's not me. But this, again, relationship is over. And right now your brain is not actually accepting that. You're actually thinking about this relationship if it's still existing. You need to stop empathizing with him. You need to stop like considering his point of view. It's just over.
Yeah. You gotta cut the cord.
I'm the one who walked away. You know, when I found out, I talked to him for 10 minutes.
That's good. But you gotta like delete
his number. You gotta you gotta unfriend him, unsnapchat, whatever it is. You
really just need to stop thinking about the relationship and starting to and process it. That's the biggest thing you need to do, is like anytime you feel like you're at, like, I'm glad you called, I'm glad we're talking about it now, but as soon as you hang up, that's the last time you should think about the relationship for the
Or
rest of
talk
the day.
about it.
Or talk about to your friends. Stop calling up your friends and saying, ooh, well, what about this? I've considered this. And stop vent. I'm sure you've already vented a lot to your friends about them. You just need to stop giving them so much emotional and mental real estate. And
Find
so
something more positive to talk about and think about. Like, it's hard and it's like a drug.
Yeah.
But there's a withdrawal effect. And just like anything else, you will get better. Every day will get easier the more you cut it out. If you dabble and come back and dabble and come back, you're just going to drag it on and it's going to feel like shit the whole time.
Yeah. No, I think you guys are right. And that's what I've been doing, because I'm not dwelling on the relationship so much. I'm just like, how can somebody do this? I don't understand how somebody could be so heartless of, you could have picked anybody in town. You chose my best friend, and I don't understand your intentions of where you thought that was going to go, because it was never going to go anywhere. So that just really confuses me. And obviously the maturity factor, he's almost 10 years older than me. And I'm thinking, like, all your friends are married. You've said this is what you want to settle down. You don't have a lot of friends in the city we live. It's hard to make friends here. I don't understand any of that.
Amy, you're still thinking about the relationship.
Yeah.
Like,
you're like a broken record.
You
right
say
now.
you're done with it, and then you're like, I'm not even thinking about him. I've walked away from him, and then it takes like 1, 2, 3 seconds, and it's back into the loop.
I guess I'm just
This list you have, it doesn't. His age doesn't matter. It just
none of it matters.
All the things that you said, and I don't mean to just be dismissive, are totally irrelevant to your ability to move on and accept that it's over.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's over because I can't go back to that. I would have so many trust issues that it wouldn't even be something.
I know, but you are, again, I understand that you know that it's over, but you're
still trying to validate. Yeah.
Yes, your brain is operating in a way that someone who is actually in a relationship but trying to mend it is, and that's how you're.
Yeah.
That's how you're, and stop thinking about it. Stop processing his intentions. Stop trying to. He hurt your feelings. You're not him, and it's just over. You just truly need to stop.
Yeah.
I say this knowing that I have done this, and a lot of people do this, but like, you just, this is only, you need to please yourself. And again, you got to stop calling up your friends and you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to solve this it's over.
Like, Amy, if one of your friends like had the same situation and called you and kind of did the same thing, like, sometimes it helps to kind of step outside and like get really sick of your story. Like, just get sick of the story. Like, the whole story of trying to figure him out. What's wrong? Is he a narcissist? He did this. Why did he do it? Like, you just have to realize that like that is just a mental loop that you're stuck in. And breaking it's tough, but every time you feel yourself going down that road, have an activity that you do, or like go outside, or don't call a friend and talk about it. You got to do something totally different to get off the loop.
Yeah.
Because it's just a drug. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it definitely feels like that. Thank you. I mean, everything you guys said, like, I'm aware of that, but I guess I feel, because it's only been a week, I feel stuck. I've been looking for answers. Thought I knew this person for so long and did not see this coming. I would never do this to anybody if I knew they're already going through so much with their families.
I know you wouldn't. You're listening, you're still hurting, and it's okay. It is very recent. You just need to take a breath and try to stop thinking about it. You really do.
Do you have, I would say, even to start, like, I don't know if you have anything of his in your house, like, get rid of everything physical, delete things, just get him, like, cleanse him out of your life visually, so that there aren't little things that spark the mental loop's still going to happen, but you need to like scrub your life, your phone, everything of him, so you can at least try to have some moment of quietness that doesn't involve you trying to figure him out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, this week I feel a lot better. I'm glad I got to talk to you guys, and I haven't really cried. I think I've cried twice, and I just feel shock. But yeah, the more I think about it, I'm like, there's no explanation. There's, he texts saying, I want to explain, but I just feel like there is no explanation. And
I wouldn't give him the yeah. It's going to take some time, But it will
Yeah.
it will take less time if you don't ruminate and you don't try to understand crazy and you don't try it. So the length of how long this breakup is going to hurt is really entirely up to you. But it's okay. That's going to take some time, and allow yourself to hurt and allow yourself to process this, but focus on your emotions and not his emotions.
And what you can do, right? Like,
Yeah.
we'll never be able to understand other people's actions or behaviors. So all we can do is
You're
take care of ourselves.
better off saying out loud, "I'm hurt." You're better off saying out loud, "I feel silly. I feel foolish. I feel betrayed." These are fine things to express,
Right.
and it's far more productive than saying,
Why did they do that?
"Why would he do this? I wouldn't
Mhm.
do this." He's,
Mhm.
Yeah.
all these things.
Okay.
All right.
Kind of what I've been thinking a lot. So, well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
You're welcome,
best,
Amy.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Alrighty.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, that's all we have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed listening. We certainly appreciate you doing so. Don't forget to send your questions. asknick@castme.com, cast with a K. Once again, Maria, remind people where they can find you if they want more information about diet and their digestion.
MariaViall.com and at Maria Viall Health on Instagram.
And I think that's about it. Make sure to check us out tonight or tomorrow for some more GOAT recap. I think Ben Higgins, is that the season we're doing? Maybe we'll have we'll bring Ben back or something. And as well as on Wednesday. Always appreciate you guys listening. Until next time, we'll see you tomorrow.